today's lesson, we are going to be talking about angle categorization. That means we're going to be talking about the different types of angles that there are. Now, the first thing that I want to recall is that angles are measured in degrees, and the angles go from 0 degrees to 360 degrees. So angles are measured in degrees, and that goes from 0 to 360. All right, let's get right away to defining some of these different types of angles that we've seen. So a while ago, we've heard about right angles, and just as a refresher, a right angle is created by two perpendicular lines, and that means that the measure of these angles are 90 degrees. Now, if I have a line and a bisector of that line, a perpendicular that isn't just hitting at a vertex, well, then I can say that both of these are 90 degrees. The next definition, so this is a right angle. The next definition that we have is called a straight angle. And that's just an angle drawn as a single line. So if I draw just a straight line over here, and I have the points A, B, and then C, I can say that angle ABC is a straight angle. Angle ABC is a straight angle. And it makes sense because it's just a straight line, one straight line. Next, we have two new types of angles that are called acute and obtuse angles. An acute angle is an angle with measure less than that of a right angle, which is 90 degrees. So you're an acute angle if you measure less than a right angle, which means that if you have less than a 90-degree measure. You are an obtuse angle if you are greater than 90 degrees, if you're greater than a right angle. So obtuse angles are angles whose measure are greater than a right angle, which is, again, 90 degrees. So you're obtuse if you are greater than a right angle, and you are acute if you are less than a right angle. Acute, you can think of something that's cute, which is usually tiny, so that's going to be less, and obtuse is the other one. They are bigger, greater than 90 degrees. Let's take a look at an example of that as I leave those up there. So if I have an illustration here, which I will put down, let's see. I've got an angle like this. This is point B over here. I have point A over here and point C. I'll draw Q straight up and down so that it's perpendicular to AB, which means that it's a right angle here. This is Q. And finally, I have ray BP going this way. Well, I can say that angle ABP, angle ABP is acute because, look, ABP goes from here to here, and I have a right angle, ABQ, which goes between these two lines. Well, ABQ is obviously bigger than ABP, because ABP makes it up, and ABQ is 90 degrees. Well, if ABQ is 90 degrees and ABP is less than 90 degrees, that means that it is acute. Similarly, I can say that angle ABC is obtuse. Obtuse. And that's because ABC is this whole angle right here, A to B to C, so it's this part right here. Well, I can compare it with ABQ again. ABQ is 90 degrees, and since ABC is bigger than ABQ, that means that it must be an obtuse angle, because obtuse angles are angles whose measure are greater than a right angle, or greater than 90 degrees. Finally, our last type of angle that we need to define is something called a reflex angle. A reflex angle is an angle whose measure is greater than a straight angle, which, by the way, a straight angle is 180 degrees. So let's take a look at an example of that. If I have a straight angle, just like from before, maybe like this, I have angle A, B, C, and I'll put another angle down this way, angle D, or ray BD. If I say that I'm talking about angle CBD, angle CBD, I'm covering in orange because I'm going to talk about this part of the angle. Usually you'd go with the smaller, but if I specify that it's this part, well, angle CBD is greater than angle ABC. ABC is just this part right over here. CBD, I'm going there and then some. So CBD is larger than angle ABC. So then I would say that angle CBD is a reflex angle. And similarly, I can also say that ABC is a straight angle.